All right, FightHype.com here with one of the best trainers in the sport, Barry Hunter. Barry, got Rashid Warren heading up against Nordine Obali.
Yes, sir.
Rashid was saying if Roy Jones would have got his rematch, he'd have killed him. Now, I know you don't want to kill this guy, but do you think Rashid...
He wasn't speaking in the literal sense.
Right.
Figuratively, yes. You know, when you get a chance to redeem yourself, and oftentimes in life, you know, think about it, life really don't have a reset button. If you are blessed enough to avenge anything that you deem to be negative in your life, man, you know, it's going to be totally different a lot of times, second time.
How do you think Rashid feels getting another shot at this spotlight when his only 2 losses were by split decision? Some people thought he won them fights. Do you think he'll break through and get to the world title this year?
Absolutely. I think it's his time, you know, and like Rashid said, what we do sometimes, you know, if you looking, you know, from afar, or if you want the viewers at home, you know, it can look glamorous. It could look like a lifestyle that you may want to get with, and we may make it look that way, but it's far from being easy. You know what I mean? It's a lot of sacrifice that goes into this game, you know. There's a lot of blood, sweat, and tears that go into this game. And even when you got 2 combatants, you know, both training extremely hard, both making the sacrifices that they had to make, and they landed all on the line. So, and both, you know, if you look, most fighters always praying to God. So, if I'm a father, I'm not going to love one son more than I love the other for the most part, so I'm going to let them figure it out. You know what I mean? So, it's going to boil down to wills. Who wanted the most?
Maybe the bright lights of fight week make people think it's more glamorous than it is because
I mean,
the 7 weeks before you're in the gym.
That's right. You look at the glitz, the glamour, you look at, you know, I mean, a lot of times these big mega fights like Adrien and Pacquiao, you look at your TV screen, you're seeing the who's who, not just in boxing, but in sports, in movies, music, the whole 9. So, yes, it can be exciting. Boxing is like no other sport, you know, and you can't help but to, when you're seeing a fight, and these are not regular fights. When I looked at the podium, I saw a ton of Olympians on there, world champs, either present or ex-world champs, and then main event, you got Pacquiao, which is a living legend, versus Adrien Broner, one of the most gifted and talented fighters that I've ever seen. So this card from top to bottom is outstanding.
And I know you go back with AB, but putting that aside, do you think he actually wins the fight this Saturday? I haven't met one person actually saying AB's going to win.
Here's the deal, you know, and could I be biased? Absolutely. Do I think so? No. You know what I mean? Because, you know, I could, you know, as much as I want it for him, nevertheless, you have to deal with a reality. To me, it's a 50-50 even fight, and I'll tell you why. Pacquiao is 40 years old. Pacquiao is a politician.
Welcome to the jungle.
You have to ask yourself, when he enters the ring on Saturday, will he still have that same fire, that same hunger that he had when he was just man, and not the Pac-Man? Flip that around, you look at Adrien Broner, a lot of his out-of-the-ring antics cost him inside of the ring. But you cannot question his ability inside the ring. Fast, big, strong. And I'll say this to the cows come home, if Adrien realized just how gifted he really is and coming to all himself, I think, me personally, that he can be almost anybody. Of course, this is a tall task. This is the legend. He cannot get caught up in, I'm fighting Manny Pacquiao. You know, he can't get caught up in the crowd. He got to focus on the mission. Fight the man and not the legend, and he got a chance.
Why do you think Broner hasn't let his... Everyone with Broner always, if he lets his hands go, he needs to let his hands go. Why do you think that's been an issue?
The majority of people, you know, I don't know, you know, and you can never tell what's in a man's mind. We can speculate and we can try to guess. But, you know, who knows? You know, all I know is that what I've seen, and I'm speaking from a different standpoint of view because I know him and Rashid since they were babies. 9 and 10 years old, that type of thing. And so I watched them come up. if you think about it, he lived in D.C. with us for many years when he was about 18 or 19 years old. You know what I mean? So we was on the first journey with him when he first started to ascend. And once he got to TV, you know, he just exploded. You know what I mean? And it's crazy because Adrien is like, he took the role of a villain. If you really know him, you know, he's a different side to him, but took the role of the villain. So, you know, you got people, they have a weird type of love affair with him. They love him and they hate the love him. But nevertheless, they come to see him. You know what I mean? And so, if he just, like I said, if Adrien turn around and understand exactly what he is, he still got a little time left. I've been watching him in the gym and he's still explosive. But this fight, the biggest fight of his career, like you say, he has to let his hands go. You got to challenge the champ. You got to challenge him. And you got to go in the trenches with him and dare to go in the trenches with him. And if he does all these things, then yes, he can win.
And lastly, Barry, because you know boxing so well, where does Manny place all time? Are we talking about? Is he at the highest of the high with Leonard and Floyd and Ali? And is he on that level?
You have to put Manny in the class of fighters like some of the ones that you named. Of course, I love Ali. Ray Leonard is not only a friend, he's a homie. Benny Leonard, I'm sorry. Willie Pep, Henry Armstrong. Then you're going down the line. It's really hard when you look at boxing as a whole and you look at all the legendary fighters that came through, right?
It's a lot.
A lot. Salvador Sanchez, Azuma Nelson, Danny Red Lopez, Wilfredo Gomez, Wilfredo Benitez, Thomas the Hitman Hearns, Marvin Hagler. I mean, going down
Larry
the
Holmes,
line.
Joe
Larry
Lewis.
Holmes, Joe Lewis. So how can you say that this is truly just the #1 guy? Even not to leapfrog over, and since we're in Vegas, you got to look at Floyd too. You know what I mean? So it's a lot of legendary fighters out there. Yes, Manny is among, or should be among, some of the greatest fighters on the planet.
Like he gets to sit at that table.
Yeah, I mean, think about what this man has accomplished. You know, you can't trip off where he took a couple of early losses or he been stopped and knocked out. Nobody gives a damn about that. No real, you know, boxing person really cares about that. But since then, you can easily love somebody when they're at the highs of high, but when they're at their lows, will you love them then? Not only did he get back up 10, what is it, 10?
We'll say it again. When he got
10 world titles or something like that.
He's won
something crazy.
8 divisions. 8 divisions.
And 8 divisions, 10 titles, 8 divisions. Who does that?
112 to 154.
It's like he hit the lottery 10 times.
Right.
You know what I mean? And you look at his resume, who he fought. Might have to go off to him, and I dig the fact that, you know, he handled himself and conducted himself to his whole career like a world champion.
Thank you, Barry.
Yeah.
And speaking of conducting yourself like a champ, that's definitely Barry Hunter.
Thank you, brother.
Thank you,
Appreciate
Barry.
the love.
Thank you.
Know that.